President Bola Tinubu has taken decisive action following the tragic fuel tanker explosion in Majiya Town in Jigawa State on the 15th of October 2024. The incident claimed over 140 lives and left dozens injured when locals rushed to collect leaking fuel from an overturned tanker, which subsequently exploded. In response, Tinubu dispatched a federal delegation led by George Akume, the secretary to the government of the federation, to visit the site, assess the situation, and provide emergency relief, including medical supplies and shelter for affected families. Additionally, the Nigerian Senate called on the National Orientation Agency to increase public education efforts on the dangers of scooping fuel from accident scenes. Senator Babangida Hussaini highlighted the frequent occurrence of such incidents and emphasized the heavy casualties. The Senate also urged security agencies to take proactive measures during similar emergencies and called on the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and NEMA to deliver relief materials to the victims. The twin responses from the President and the Senate underlined the need for heightened public safety awareness and a comprehensive review of fuel transportation safety protocols in Nigeria. Ambassador Eki, this just seems like every 5 market days or so we get to hear, or 2 months interval, we get to hear that people went to scoop fuel, diesel or fuel from a tanker that had fallen and something happened. I think this same thing nearly happened at Rumokuru Junction some months ago. What do you think about this?
Let me sympathize with families and the government of Jigawa State for such kind of negative occurrence that took place. I pray for those who have passed on, may their soul rest in peace. But again, knowing that this product belongs to someone and you want to go and scoop, is a criminal activity. It is an action that is not human. It does not depict, a sympathy. Had it been they are even scooping to preserve it for the owner?
Should I be scooping in the first place?
I'm only just saying, if you want to be your brother's keeper, you want to risk your life because you want to protect what belongs to your neighbor or to your brother. If you die in that cause, it can be said, oh, this man, these people were very nice people. They died in trying to save and protect what belongs to their fellow Nigerians. But in this case, the scooping is to siphon and collect products that do not belong to you. It's condemnable. It's not only in Jigawa, like you said. In Rivers State, it has happened. In several states, it keeps happening. When a truck will turn, and then the next mindset of the villagers, the people around there is, hey, we have seen maybe the other is the Lord's blessing. God has favored us, so favor you with another man's product. So I want to think that it's not a question of awareness. They are aware that this thing can lead to their untimely death. They are aware that this thing can engulf their lives.
Then why do they do it?
It is hardship. When I say hardship, a man who feels that this is opportunity to survive, in as much as I said, is a criminal activity, is condemnable. But again, the economic aspect is, let me go and collect a drum of 50-liter fuel now, 100 liters. You know how much it is. So they feel that it's an avenue for economic survival. So I want to encourage that this kind of attitude is not good. It's worrisome. When a truck, have issues, even with other products, sometimes you see the villagers who are supposed to help, they come to loot those things.
Is it the fault of the villagers that they are, because humans react to what they have? If my back has been pushed against the wall, I will react nearly accordingly. Is it the fault of the villagers and the citizens that they are striving to survive at the detriment of another man?
You see, it's wrong. What is wrong is wrong. If it's your product that they went to collect that way, you will not be happy because it wants money. Had it been is even government products that had issues and they wanted to collect it instead of it to waste to survive, I would say relatively is okay because government is us.
Yes,
they are government.
That's taxpayers' money.
It's their property that they have collected, even though it's accidentally. At that point, I will always say, Mr. President, have mercy on them. But in this case, it's somebody's property. You don't winch hurt your fellow Nigerian that is striving to survive because there was an accident on the way leading to the delivery of his product. It's condemnable, it's not right. But in any case, we are saying that when you see this kind of thing happen, the first thing that should come into your mind is rescue of your life. Stay far from such sin because it's very, very deadly. Those who have gone have gone. May their soul rest in peace. What we are talking now will only benefit those who are alive. So that's why we are saying that those of us who are alive, when you see this kind of scenario, do not run close. It's not something National Orientation Agency will do. We have a country where even if we are told that this thing is dangerous, as they finish, they say, no, be we they tell, I bet me they talk another thing shift. Because the mindset of the people is made up on what they want to do. So when the mind is made up to carry out an action, whether it's lawful or unlawful, it becomes very immoral heart. So I want to join, to condemn that action is not good. And again, the truck drivers. We have blamed the people to some extent. The truck drivers. Most of these truck drivers are drunkards. I have talked about my interface with truck driver before here, where police stopped me, and then a truck driver had to hit my car. Instead of going the lane he ought to go, hit my car the early hours of the morning. And then when we reversed to pursue him, and eventually we caught him, he said he was not aware he hit anything. And his mouth was smelling high rate of alcohol that early hours of the morning. That is his conductor that told him that it's like he hit something. You hit car, you did not even know. So what if it's even human being? So like I said, at every point on their way in delivering this product, not just tank for petroleum, all these truck drivers, there should be a psychiatric test on the road. If it is after 30 minutes or 1 hour, at every distance. In fact, there should be I don't know how the best way, but they have a union. But government too should keep up, agencies that will check these guys, because they drive as if they own the road. They drive as if they are abnormal. So I want to also say, those of us that own trucks, let us caution our drivers. They don't have time to interact with them, telling them of the dangers of using alcohol. Some of them cannot drive without alcohol. They will say, we need to shine our eye before we move. So we have a whole lot of reckless, actions of our citizens that is risking lives and properties in a very negative way. So it's a sad experience, and we need to repent from it.
Knowing the living condition of road users, just when you talk about people that are driving bus alone, it is not very good, the living condition. Then to talk about people that spend days on the road pushing products to different parts of the state, because we heard that this one was coming from a different place. There was even a different instance of one coming from Port Harcourt to a different place that still had issues. What do you think can be done to improve the life of truck drivers? Because they are the backbone of, if they decide they want to stop the vehicle, it will stop. If they decide they want to capsize the vehicle, it will capsize. If they want to get there safely, by God's grace, they will. What do you think are some of the ways that can help to improve their lives, per se?
Thank you very much. Let me start by conveying my heartfelt sympathies to the people and government of Jigawa State. it is indeed a very unfortunate situation, and
Tragic.
I am most disturbed that it has become a recurring decimal, because this is not the first, second, or third, and sadly it won't be the last. But talking about the welfare of truck drivers, I think it's the responsibility of the employers of the drivers to ensure that they get the right and proper welfare. Welfare alone doesn't really solve the problem, because like what my friend Ambassador Kies rightly said, that some of these drivers, they are not regularly on their right frame of mind. Some of them are under the influence of substances. It could be alcohol, it could be some other funny substances that takes away their consciousness, and to a large extent they become a danger to themselves and other road users. And I think that would further solicit for proper orientation and education, as the case may be. I think most of these truck drivers, the only thing they know how to do is just to drive the trucks, and they don't understand that your psyche is also another aspect of driving. Generally, and much more a truck that carries a highly inflammable material and content, which means they are, in their own case, they have to be more careful on the road. So what is the level of enlightenment, orientation, does most of these truck drivers have? Apart from the fact that they know how to control the machine. Some of them, they just take them to the driving school. Some of them just, after knowing how to drive, you become a motor boy. You follow a truck for a certain period of time, after which a truck will be handed over to you. No consideration of how does the person think. What should be your frame of mind before you engage that truck and begin to travel across the length and breadth of the country doing your duty. So these are the major issues. That is where the National Orientation Agency, the Federal Road Safety Corps, needs to come in. In fact, before a truck driver should be certified to hit the road, this is not supposed, it shouldn't be a one-off thing. There has to be somebody on the ground to certify that this man is suitable to engage. Of course, you can't tell his actions the moment he leaves the park. Yes. Because he can be halfway on the road, stop by on one or two of these shekpe joint or whatever they call it, and help himself to one or two. But if we have road safety officers on the road, or agents of government on the road on intervals,
yes,
they stop you on the road, clear you, and find out your state of mind. It's not the usual, what do you have for us? Even if your mouth reek of alcohol or substance that you shouldn't be taking, they don't care. Their own is when you give them their rights, it could be 200, 100, or 500 as the case may be, they allow you to go. That is one. Another aspect of it is what is the state and nature of our roads. Because I'm aware that even in the one that happened recently on that Eleme section of the East-West Road, it was due to the bad nature of the road. Yes. Truck falling every now and then, some of them empty, some of them with products and all. So these are issues. Then lest I forget, our response to emergency is very, very poor. Because they say if you blame the cats for eating the fish, you equally blame the fish for smelling, which means the fish was not properly kept in a place where it doesn't invite the cats. If we have swift response to emergencies, and a truck falls on the road, contents begin to spill out. And the truck did not just explode immediately. I'm sure we have law enforcement agencies around that environment who were just standing and looking. Oh, these people need to hear word. Allow them to. So if we have a swift emergency response system where as soon as that happens, you cordon off that area immediately. You don't allow people to have, because it is waste. You can't rescue it. There's no way you can rescue it, because you that is going to rescue the product, your own life is even at risk. So why do we have such scenarios? In other civilized climes in Europe and America, even some part of Africa, the moment that thing happens, you see fire service, you see everybody come together as a team, cordon off that area, tie the tapes, and they take action. You don't begin to record this kind of amount of casualty, especially since it's not even the first experience we're having. But what do we get? The same thing happen over and over again, and you don't have to get a different result. We have a situation in this country currently where people are willing to die for anything. In my initial deposition, I said something that if you have nothing to live for, you'll be willing to die for anything. You think they don't know that what they are doing is dangerous to their lives? How much is a liter of petrol? The cheapest you can get is 1,200 naira. So when a man sees an opportunity to get 20 liters for himself and calculate...
So possibly you're saying if the price of petrol drops drastically,
you think
this thing
if a liter of petrol, of course some persons are just the way they are, but I'm sure the numbers would be reduced drastically. Because if you go and scoop fuel from the ground, and a liter of fuel in the petrol station is 200 naira, the highest you can sell that yours, it will not be more than 100 naira or 70 naira, because the product is available and it's cheap and affordable. That is one. Then the level of hardship occasioned by the high cost of petroleum products push a lot of people out of jobs, make a lot of people to be hungry. Place it side by side. I have said it before that poverty and hunger is the biggest threat to national security than even the guns and the knives you see on the street. Poverty and hunger. And now it has become a weapon because it has been weaponized by the ruling class. Keep them hungry so that when you throw a corn at them, they rush at it and you can use them to do whatever you want to do. But basically and conclusively, I think the level of awareness, orientation of these truck drivers, I think more has to be done about it. They need to be monitored at all time, even on the road. Secondly, our response to emergency, we need to work on it drastically, so that when things like this happen, you see immediate actions. We don't get proactively address palliative and relief materials and all of that. It shouldn't get to that extent. Let us stop it before it even starts.
Well,